Okay, hi guys, it's Robin and Tango, and we are going to start, we're going to do a bit of target training, asking Tango to target the cone, and then he gets a click and a reward. So my question I have with the targeting over the stable door or over a rail is, if the horse seems to not be interested and looks away for long periods of time, how do you handle that? Would I keep the target in the same place and just wait until he eventually comes towards the target, even if it takes minutes? Or would I drop the target and kind of bring it up again in the same place? Would I pull his head towards me? How would I handle that?
Thank you, Robin, for this lovely video of you and Tango practicing targeting. Good quality questions get good quality answers. So the first question is, why would we want to train a horse to touch a cone in your hand? And the answer to that question is, there's ultimately, if your horse is not focused, your horse is distracted. And there are multiple things in the environment that will distract your horse from focusing. And so you are effectively competing with the environment to get your horse's focus. So the obvious thing to do is to move around, or to cluck with your tongue, or you could even put the halter and lead rope on and try and pull his head straight and get him to touch the cone in your hand. But ultimately, if you do that, it's like he would not learn anything. And I like to ask this question because I think it definitely explains the thinking behind it. If you gave a 5-year-old child a puzzle to build, and you, after half an hour, you come back and you notice that they haven't been able to progress, and you finish the puzzle for them, the question is, have they learned anything? And I guess the answer to that question is quite obvious. No, they haven't learned anything. So if you are helping him by stepping towards him, or you're helping him by clucking with your tongue every time he looks away, or you're helping him by pulling on the lead rope every time he looks away, he's actually learning that you are physically going to start getting really busy. And what happens fundamentally is you are setting yourself up to fail long term, because for the rest of his training career, you are constantly going to have to either move or make a noise or touch the reins when you're riding him, or use your legs. So you're going to constantly be trying to physically control him, and like a child that says, "Mommy, look at me," you're going to try and help him to look at you and pay attention. So what's really important is that a half an answer that Tango can learn for himself is better than a whole answer that you can give him. And the question is, how do we set him up to succeed? So for one, to help him to be more motivated for the food, you can definitely train him in the early morning before breakfast, or in the late afternoon just before dinner time, because if he's more hungry, he'll definitely be more motivated to try and see, what can I do to get you, Robin, to feed me? And ultimately the condition is you have to touch the cone. If you want a reward, you have to touch the cone, and then we make the tsk noise and then we reward. So it's up to Tango to work that out, and you can, of course, also do it over the stable door. So when you work over the stable door, you are limiting the distractions, because ultimately out in the paddock there's a lot more happening in the yard, and there's other horses moving, so he's going to be more inclined to look around and be distracted. So it definitely helps to work with him over the stable door. And then what is very important is just that you're standing quietly, and I really like the fact that you're standing behind a hose pipe on the ground, so that's a nice distance that he cannot physically reach you, and he can definitely not stick his nose in your bag and shake the bag empty or try and help himself. So it's really important for him to learn that he has to do something, and in this instance, look at you with 2 eyes and physically touch the cone in your hand to get you to click and reward him. I trust that this is useful information. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask, and I'm really looking forward to your next video.